Hey, what's up everyone? How you all doing? That's a Monday morning, and you already know what I'm talking about. Well, you probably know what I'm talking about from the title, to be fair. But waking up with the news of contract extension for Paik till 2028, you couldn't have had better news. And you know, the first thing I thought was, it's so funny that we lose to Charlton, so we're not on a downer. But you know, we're slightly going into on-ball mode, and then woof, we're off again. It just feels like whenever something bad happens, the owner goes, "Don't worry, don't. You can have that." Do you know what I mean? You don't cry. Here's your tissue. You can have Paik for another 4 years. Brilliant. I tell you what, people outside of the club won't know how big this is. You know, if you don't watch Blues week in, week out, I think it'd be kind of hard for you to understand just how important this signing is for us. I've made a TikTok video, guys, before we even move on with this. So, TikTok videos, the name's always going to be at the start and the end. Jump on that. Defend me in the comments, man. I'm having it off with people in the comments. I didn't believe how hostile TikTok was. Jesus Christ, it is. Too fair, it's alright. But me and my mate were talking just the other day about what's Birmingham City's biggest signings this year. Like, if you had to have like a top three. And you know, after a lot of thought, I thought, well, number one, it has to be Chris Davies, don't it? It has to be. The gaffer, that guy is running it, man, because it's all good having these players. How many times have we seen teams buy big players and it just never really worked? You know, you look at Chelsea last season, for example. I know they're really doing well this season, but when you buy a load of players that are expensive for that level, attitude and ego and stardom takes over the locker room, doesn't it? The changing room. And then second after that, it has to be Christian Bielik as El Capitan. That's massive, and we all knew it was massive at the time because it was like, because we just thought, we come into this transfer window thinking we're losing Paik, we're losing Bielik, and we may lose some others, Dembele, because we all really wanted to keep Dembele at the time, I felt. Yeah, and Christian Bielik, I kind of mentioned it the other day that if he's playing that second half in the Charlton game, you kind of get the feeling we don't concede from that long throw-in, just because of how good he is at organising it. He's our leader, and to have him and Christoph Klar it's a cheat code, really. And then out of all the signings we made, I feel like you've got to give it Stansfield, to be fair. I did want to say this extension, but you've got to give it Stansfield, to be fair. That is unbelievable for this level. But you just look at this activity from the owners, it seems like they read our minds. It really does. I've never really felt like that before, and maybe they just see what we see, or maybe they see what we're saying. Because in the transfer window, it was like, oh yeah, we look good. I think we need a left back. Next day, boom, Cochrane. I think we need another centre mid, Iwata. It just felt like whatever we asked for, we got. We was like a rich kid at Christmas. Unbelievable from the owners. And to show this is like, the owners are probably thinking, I don't think we can keep him because he's that good. But if he is going to leave, we're going to get some dollar for him. There's no two ways about it. We're getting some money for this dude. This dude could go for a fair bit of money, especially if we sell him when we're already in the Championship. If you're in League One, teams do tend to get that thing where they can just kind of have him for what they want because you're only a little League One club. And, I don't know if it's coincidence, but I can't help but feel like he signed this immediately after being called up for the South Korean squad. Whether that was something in his head where he was like, I don't want to sign because national team comes first. And now that that's been confirmed and he is going to play for the national team, he's like, well, I don't want to play for Birmingham then. I watched his interview, and he's not really one of them people you can read into too much in his interviews, because I feel like when English isn't your first language, sometimes it gets lost in translation. It seems like they're repeating themselves, but he seems, from what I could tell, he was happy and he's very impressed with Iwata's ability. And maybe it's nice for him to have someone of equal, if not more, talent in that midfield. Now, I know we've all got our preferences. I'm a Paik man myself, but I know you love the two of them, but maybe you all edge your favourite. I'm more of a Paik man myself, I can't lie, but I do love Tomoki Iwata, don't get me wrong. I was kind of thinking the other day, what I wouldn't mind seeing, just for one game, maybe in the Shrewsbury game, I wouldn't mind seeing, I know they're on international break, so actually you couldn't, but if you took Williamson out, played Paik where Williamson is, and played Leonard and Iwata in behind, and had that as the midfield three, I would like to see that. I don't know why I'd never thought of it before, but I just want to see it in action, see if it works. maybe Chris Davis is sitting in training and he's like, "No, I'm not a fan, man. I want the physicality from Williamson up front, or I prefer Paik to have the game in front of him by playing here." But I just thought that maybe could really work, and it'd be interesting to see. And you know, when you see signings like this and us being able to keep hold of our bigger players, it does make me think, where's the ceiling for this team? When when we go up next season, deep down in my heart, I do want to challenge for playoffs, but I'd be happy with a top 10 finish, because I've seen Blues fans, we've seen enough Championship football to know this team is not a mid-table Championship team. This is up there, and you know, people, you know, like in my TikTok comments, they're saying, you know, you'd League One, you're going to come up and finish bottom 6. We know that's not true. I've seen enough football to know what a bottom 6 Championship team looks like. It's not this. It really isn't. I do think there's teams in the Championship that we'd do in a league game, like quite a few of them. I don't think people realise how shit Championship level football is. I do think it is still pretty bad at the bottom level of it, and at the top, when you get to the top 5, you get to like disorganised Prem teams. That's the way I look at them. They're Prem teams, but they're disorganised, and then once you get into the Prem, that's when everyone's organised, everyone knows what they're doing, and you really start to step into players 2-3 steps ahead of anyone else in any other league. But Championship clubs, in myself included, you kind of put it on a pedestal and think it's a good level of football. It is, but there is still the element where it's like, God, this is shit quality football. So that's just my opinion. I know that'll be slightly controversial to some. Blues fans, let me know what you think. Are you over the moon at it? You know, I can only imagine what this team's going to look like when we sign Chris Rigg. It's going to be it's going to be unbelievable. You know, that's going to be my next TikTok video, just to wind up everyone. It's going to be the Chris Rigg train. That will grab a few views, I can imagine. But guys, thank you so much for joining. Just wanted to give you that good update if you hadn't seen it on any other social media. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Go check out the TikTok. Honestly, you're going to see a lot of me from there. I'm going to try and upload at least once a day on there, and, you know, reply to a couple of people. I'm still learning how to TikTok. I'm all good at scrolling, but making videos is not my forte, I'll tell you that. But take it easy, guys. I'll see you soon. Keep right on.